everyone, and welcome back to episode 54 of Sooner Girl Sports Pod. I have some Sooner headlines of the week to share with you as we've had our gymnastics teams get up and going this past week, as well as tennis. But I am very excited for you all to hear my interview this week with Jason Grauerholz. He is president of the OU Club of Arizona, and I met him when we were out in Phoenix earlier this fall. And I wanted a place to watch the OU Alabama game with some like-minded people. So I saw on their social media they were meeting up at a local sports bar to watch the game. So I went out and got to meet Jason and several other great people, and I just had the best time with them. And I knew when I met him immediately that he was my type of people, and we hit it off really quick. I knew I wanted to have him on the show. We started talking about the football season and our love for OU, and enjoyed our conversation with him as we wrap up the football season and talk about some of our favorite moments and games and memories and our hopes looking forward to next season. So if you are an OU football fan, you will not want to miss this conversation. Jason is Sooner built. He became a Sooner fan when he attended the University of Oklahoma. Before we get to our conversation with Jason, here are this week's Sooner headlines of the week. And first off, I would like to again thank my sponsors for this new year. Start Marvin's Place, a fine art gallery and listening room located in the Depot District in downtown Ardmore, Oklahoma. Come experience amazing artwork, and on Friday nights, visit the Listening Room, an intimate, unplugged venue. Host singer and songwriters on Friday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Relax with a glass of wine and a craft beer and enjoy some wonderful music. And you can learn more about them on marvinsplace.gallery. And I can promise you, if you are an acoustic music lover, you will not find another venue like that around. So go out and give them a visit for sure. Check them out online for more information about their art gallery and the schedule for live music on Fridays. Also, shout out to my other sponsor, Therapy to Go in Ardmore, the funnest place in town to drive through and grab a drink. You don't even have to get out of your car. They have a large variety of spirits as well as fountain drinks and snacks. Drive on through there, tell Melissa, Allison, and the girls that Sooner Girl Pod sent you, and you will get a special gift. So one quick mention about our injury updates. Dayton Forsyth, he did not play this past weekend in our men's basketball game. Still struggling with his ankles. Also, if you watched the game, you noted that Darion Reed had a knee injury during the game. He was leading the Sooners in scoring against his old team. He was helped off the court with an apparent lower body injury. However, he did return and actually entered the game again. So I have not heard an update on him, any other reports. Now that we are in conference season, we will be getting updated injury reports throughout the week for basketball. So if anything changes on that, I will definitely be sure to keep you posted. Also want to give a shout out to our OU Pom Squad for their DIA Spirit Program game day, coming in second place for the silver medal and college national championships this past weekend in Florida. Shout out to them for that awesome performance. I shared it on my social media. This is on TikTok as well. If you didn't get to see their routine, great choreographies. Also, the UFL draft occurred last week, and several Sooners were drafted to represent in the league this coming season. Birmingham Stallions drafted former Oklahoma teammates Andrew Rame and Tyrese Robinson, and the DC Defenders drafted offensive lineman Adrian Ely. So best of wishes to them as they start their careers in the UFL this coming spring. Also, a quick update on our NFL Sooners. Our Sooners that were in the NFL playoffs this weekend were with the Broncos, Nick Bonito, Marvin Mims, and Ben Powers. They did win their game and are moving on to the conference championship games next weekend. With the Bills, Jordan Phillips, they lost, so they are out. With the Patriots, Ramondre Stevenson, they won and are moving forward as well. Texans, Joe Mixon, unfortunately lost this past weekend. And the 49ers, Trent Williams and Braden Willis, unfortunately lost this past weekend as well. But best of luck to our Sooners as they are moving on to the conference championships this coming weekend. And then the Super Bowl will be 2 weeks after that on February the 8th. And I'm looking forward to cheering on our Sooners on the big stage. Also, shout out to Jaden Ott, who received an invitation to the Senior Bowl. And we have had several athletes announce that they are returning this coming season. Ben Anderson and Ryan Foje and Jaden Jackson were some of the first to do that. We've had many follow suit. I did not keep a complete list of all of those, but I am very excited about our portal edition and our returning starters for this coming season for sure. Speaking of portal, a couple more additions since last week. We have coming in Georgia State transfer defensive lineman Bishop Thomas, Tennessee true freshman transfer tight end Jack Van Dorselaar. He will have 3 years of eligibility left and appeared in every game this past season for the Volunteers, so very promising addition there. Also, Mississippi Valley State cornerback Prince Agioma. Going out, we have linebacker Sammy Omasigo, who committed to UCLA, CB Gentry Williams, who committed to Georgia, and center Troy Everett, who committed to Ole Miss. Quick update on our hoops squads. It has been a rough go for our men's and women's teams here in the last couple of weeks. 4 losses in a row for our men. This past week, they started out on Tuesday night with their loss at home. Number 19, Florida beat us 96-79. Total complete blowout for that. That was our 3rd straight loss at the time. Xavier Robinson had 24 points. Tay Davis and Ellis Donev both had 17. But we got number 18, Alabama, in town on Saturday. It was one of the best crowds and atmospheres of the season so far at the Lloyd Noble Center. Porter Moser said the first option on that final play was to get Xavier Brown room to get the bucket for the tie, but he fell down. So Nigel Pack, it fell on him to get a 3-pointer, and unfortunately he did miss that. Considering the time left, and then after Brown fell down and it was worth a shot, unfortunately did not work out for us. It was a hard post-game address because, yes, they played their tails off, said Porter Moser. We got to find a way to win these games. Nothing to do at this point but bounce back. Just a really rough week, but it starts Tuesday night at South Carolina. So when this episode drops, the previous night on Tuesday, we will have a chance to redeem ourselves against South Carolina. Coming off that Bama loss, again, 83-81 final. They really did play good, but those 4 straight losses are not easy to swallow. So let's move on down the road and hope we get a win in South Carolina this week on the road. Women's hoops, I want to give a quick shout out to my girl Taylor Robertson, former Sooner. She was just called to go to Germany to play basketball. So you can follow her on social media. And I will be posting in my stories how you can follow her on the German team. And I'll be sharing updates from her as I see them. But I want to give a quick shout out to her. I did interview her for the show, Hoops Lovers, my conversation with former Hooper Taylor Robertson on February 11th. And again, best of luck to her in Germany. Unfortunately, our women had a tough loss against LSU at home on Sunday at the LNC, but it was a packed out crowd. That was our first sellout at the LNC since 2009, which is really crazy to think about, but shout out to Sooner fans for showing up. 91-72 loss in front of that crowd of 10,890 people. But thank you to Sooner Nation again for showing up. That's 3 straight losses for the Sooners. We just struggled to contain LSU and Flau'jae Johnson. She poured in 23 points and pulled down 10 rebounds during the game. LSU was able to build their lead in the first half with Oklahoma center Reagan Beers on the bench. They found some offense despite resting Reagan Beers and Elia Chavez. Brooklyn Stewart had 9 points in the game. Peyton Verhulst did finish at 21 points and Beers totaled 10 points, 11 rebounds, but neither effort was enough to fend off the Tigers. Chavez ended with 11 points and 3 of 14 on shooting from the field. She also added 3 rebounds and 2 assists. But the Sooners have another massive contest at the Lloyd Noble Center Thursday night. If you're listening this on the day that it drops, tomorrow night, Thursday night, we host South Carolina. Dawn Staley, that is a very talented defending national championship team. Get out and support our ladies. If you're listening to this and you can make it on Thursday night, support our girls as we host number 2 South Carolina, 6:30 p.m. Thursday night. It will be on ESPN if you can't make it out. Also, shout out to our women's gymnastics teams. We were a part of the most watched regular season live gymnastics college meet ever on ESPN networks last weekend with the Sprouts Farmers Market Collegiate Quad. 838,000 viewers. The peak was 1.3 million. 36%, and women comprised 56% of the ABC audience, up 42%. So just incredible support for the sport for female athletes and for our program as well. So continue to get out and support our ladies. And you can do that this Friday night against Georgia at the Lloyd Noble Center. It starts at 5:45. They will be dropping the national championship banner. Shout out to our freshman of the week, Mackenzie Eastep. And let's rewind to our meet this past weekend at Missouri. We did win 197.425 over Missouri's 196.925. Addison Fata led off the beam with a 9.9. Faith Torres a 9.95 on beam. Ella Murphy a 9.925. And what a floor debut also for Ella Murphy with a 9.875 in her number 2 spot on the floor. Again, Mackenzie Eastep 9.925 for the freshman on vault. Tara Wells 9.925 for the junior on vault, and Lizzie Blessy led us off on that vault with a 9.925. Also to note in gymnastics, for the first time since 2016, Georgia beat LSU. And that is important because, one, we tied LSU in the Sprouts meet last weekend, but because of that tiebreaker, we did end up winning the meet. But we tied LSU, clearly a very talented team, and we have Georgia coming to town this Friday night. And for those two teams to have already come head to head, Georgia comes out on top. Now Georgia comes to Norman. It's going to be a great time to get out and support our ladies for sure. First home meet of the season again this Friday. Florida is leading the rankings at number 1, OU at number 2, and LSU at 3. Our men's gymnastics squad got started off this past weekend as well at the Rocky Mountain Open. Joel Mulder, former Sooner, did rotate with us in his quest to qualify for the Winter Cup. In his first domestic competition since the 2024 Olympic trials, he did score a 14.350 on parallel bars and holds the highest all-around score through the 4 rotations in the Rocky Mountain Open. He did qualify for the Winter Cup as he rotated with us, so shout out to Joel Mulder for that. Shout out to our freshman Nathan Roman. First meet, first ever event title for Nathan as he won the parallel bars with a 14.5. Our Sooners did come out on top in that meet over Stanford, Nebraska, Air Force, and Arizona State with a 3:23.950. Second place was Stanford with a 3:20.75. And if you follow men's gymnastics, you know that Oklahoma and Stanford, they ping pong back and forth between the number 1, number 2 spot a lot. They've even ping pong back and forth a lot between winning the Natty each season. So it's really cool that we beat them pretty handily by a good 3 solid points in this meet. And let's just hope it continues on through the season. As our men do travel to Ann Arbor, Michigan next weekend, the meet is set for 1 p.m. Central on Saturday the 24th. Our home opener for the men's gymnastics in McCausland is on February 1st against Greenville, so make a plan to get out and support our guys. Our baseball diamond dinner is on Friday, January the 30th at 6:30 p.m. in the Sam Noble Museum. Guest speaker, Cade Cavalli. You can check that out on Soonersports.com. Softball season is quickly coming up on us, and the preseason rankings are out. We are preseason ranked number 2 and 3, depending on the poll, but our season starts on February 5th in Arizona. Also this past week with the AUSL, which is the Athletes Unlimited Softball League, announced their permanent city-based home locations for their teams. Here's where the Sooners have landed. Sam Landry and Kelly Maxwell and Jada Coleman are with the Cascade, and they are in Portland, Oregon. The Spark in Oklahoma City will have Kinsey Hansen, Sydney Sherrill, who is not a Sooner, but she is an Oklahoma girl that a lot of people remember, and she did play at Florida State. She's back with the Spark. Haley Lee, Alyssa Brito is with the Blaze. Jocelyn Allo with the Bandits, and Riley Boone to the Volts. They did drop their full schedules for this coming summer. The Oklahoma City Spark have all of these teams coming to play them at Tom Heath Field at Oklahoma Christian University. So you'll want to check out their schedule, and you can see all of those Sooners that I just mentioned come into Oklahoma City and play against the Spark at a really unique small venue. Support our former Sooners as they continue in the Pro League. Our wrestling team holding fairly steady at number 16 in the team ranking, and we have several individual rankings as well. Conrad Hendrickson, Tyler Wells, Carter Schubert, Brian Saldano, DJ Parker, and Juan Mora. Also shout out to my guy DJ Parker for being honored with the Good Works Winter Team for making an impact on and off the mat. DJ is a very, very friendly guy. I got to meet him at Bedlam Wrestling in Stillwater weekend before last. And he also met up with some friends of mine after the home meet this past Friday in Norman. Just such a sweet guy, always makes time for the fans and gives back to the community. So it's really cool to see him being honored for that. Our guys did have a 38-4 win over Air Force Friday night on the mats in McCausland Fieldhouse, Oklahoma. 8-2, 1-1 in the Big 12, won 9 out of 10 bouts, highlighted by 4 bonus point victories as the Sooners seized control early and just never looked back. We traveled to Morgantown for another Big 12 showdown against West Virginia on Sunday the 18th, and unfortunately suffered a pretty shocking loss on the road, 17-19 loss to West Virginia. But next up for a home meet for our guys are on Friday, January 30th and Saturday the 1st. They have back-to-back days at McCausland, Friday night versus Iowa State and Saturday the 30th versus Northern Iowa. I will give you a quick tip if you're planning to hit the men's basketball game against Texas on the 1st. It's at 1 p.m. You can also get tickets and come out and support our wrestling guys that night. It's not till 7 p.m. in McCausland, so make plans to get out and support our guys at home. For our tennis men, a number 21 preseason ranking upset number 11 Arizona 4-2 this past weekend, the highest recorded indoor attendance for men's tennis on a Friday night. So they also had a 6-1 win over Abilene Christian. Our number 6 preseason ranked women had a win on Thursday over Tarleton State 4-0 and Wyoming 7-0. And Saturday, a win over Wichita State 4-1 and Texas State 7-0. The women host the ITA kickoff weekend this coming weekend, the 23rd through 26th in Norman, where they will also host Stanford, Yale, and Memphis. As I'm recording this on Monday afternoon, of course, there is some pending winter weather coming into Oklahoma this weekend. I do not know how that is going to affect the scheduled events. I'm just telling things as they are currently scheduled. If there are any changes to the schedules, reschedules, cancellations, I will be sure and share that on my social media as the time gets closer. But as for now, everything is still on track and scheduled as normal, although I don't think that it will stay that way. We do have several home things coming up this weekend with this women's tournament. We also have a track and field meet, women's gymnastics, and of course, women's basketball on Thursday evening should be fine. Speaking of track and field, we do have that home track meet coming up this Friday, the 23rd, that's scheduled to begin in the afternoon. I do not know how the weather will affect that. I'm planning on attending that if things go as planned. I don't know that that's going to happen, but get out and support our track and field team. They are super fun to watch. We had a very eventful weekend this past weekend with the Owen Hewitt Invitational women's triple jump. Taylor Fingers took second and a top collegiate finisher with her final jump. NC took a title with the final throw, and Connor Jones followed in second with his toss. Kennedy Clark, school record with her final throw of 21.34. Kennedy cements her name as number 1 in OU history with that event. Men's triple jump, BJ Green finished number 1 and number 3 overall NCAA. Also in our women's 60-meter final, Sooners went 1-2. Morgan Little, number 1 at 7.44. Cassidy Watkins, number 2 at 7.59. We also had Nia Parks finish number 7 and Sydney Spikerman 8. Kennedy Stringfellow, he is the new school record holder and current world leader in long jump with his leap of 8.29 meters, 27 feet and 2.5 inches. Kennedy Stringfellow jumped on Friday. Just incredible. Women's long jump, again, had a lot of great accomplishment as well. Morgan Little finished number 2. A personal record for her at 6.31 meters. Allie Stevenson, 6.18 meters, personal record for her. And they finished second and fourth, respectively. And then in fifth place, Cassidy Watkins, and sixth place, Kennedy Jackson. Our women's pole vault, Sooners went 1-2-3, Jacelyn Neighbors, Tasani Foster, and Lily Samansky. 1-2-3 in that event. Our men's pole vault, Colton took the cake. Colton Rhodes, 5.40 meters in first place. Tied for 7th in OU history, and Hilton Green 5.3 meters on pole vault. Men's high jump, shout out to Kyron Washington for a 2.21 meter, and Tyson Ritz, 2.14 meter jump for him as they finished 1 and 3rd respectively. And in 4th place, Trey Bartholomew with 2.14 meter. Women's shot put, Allie took the top of the podium with her personal best toss of 15.26 meters. And men's shot put, Tucker Smith finished 1st, and Will Debo finished 3rd. Shout out to Coach James Thomas, the head track coach, and all of their event coaches. They have really started out the season strong. I'm looking forward to getting out and supporting them and seeing them this season. They are so much fun to watch, all of these different events and sprinters, and I can't wait to get out and see them. Quick shout out to our former golfer, Chris Gotterup, who started off the PGA season with a win. He claimed his third tour victory at the Sony Open in Hawaii this past weekend. Okay, for my Sooner MVPs of the week, men's gymnastics, going to give them a shout out for the first event title for freshman Nathan Roman as he won the parallel bar event. I also want to give a shout out to our track and field Kennedy Stringfellow for the school record and current world leader in the long jump, and Kennedy Clark school record on her final throw. I do want to give an honorable mention to our men's tennis for taking down a ranked team as well. So much going on in Sooner sports, and I just wanted to give a second shout out to those athletes and those programs for all of their accomplishments this past week. Okay, for my Sooner fun fact of the week, the women's track and field team 4x100 relay squad broke the school record and earned second team All-America status by clocking in a season best 43.52 seconds at the 2023 NCAA Outdoor Track and Field Championships in Austin, Texas. I want to give a quick reminder for my one-year celebration that's coming up on Thursday, February 5th at Coach's Corner in Norman from 6 to 8 p.m. We will be cutting cake and doing cheers at 6:30 p.m. I would love for you to come out and celebrate with me and support me as we celebrate 1 year of Sooner Girl Sports Pod. There will be some coaches and athletes making appearances. I'll have lots of friends and family there. I would love to see you. If you are listening to this, you have supported me this year as I have started this podcast and continue to grow, and I would love to celebrate with you. So come out and visit me then. You can find all the information pinned at the top of my link tree, which is my link in bio on all of my social media. I'm on social media, every platform at Sooner Girl Pod. And again, that link tree is my link in bio on every social media platform. Also in my link tree, you can find out about merch if you're interested in purchasing any of my t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, koozies, any of those things, hats. You can also find links to all of my social media, all of the podcast platforms. You can find out about advertising and sponsorship opportunities, how to support the pod. Ladies, if you want to join our locker room and be a part of our huddle, you can find more information about that there as well. You can also find the link to my Substack so you don't miss out on the Playbook newsletter, which will be coming out here in the next week or so. It's my monthly newsletter recap each month on all things podcast you don't want to miss. Again, at Sooner Girl Pod on all social media platforms, link in bio. You can find all of those things. If you have any question, feel free to message me on social media or shoot me an email at soonergirlsportspod@gmail.com. Okay, on to my interview with Jason Grauerholz. Jason is the president of the OU Club of Arizona, an original East Coast kid from New Jersey. Jason graduated from the University of Oklahoma with a BFA in musical theater. Though he initially arrived in Oklahoma for the major, it was the tour of the football stadium that truly sold him. An initial win of student season tickets his freshman year, he turned into an instant superfan and can be seen on bar stools all around the U.S. chanting Boomer at the top of his lungs. He is also a current local realtor and mortgage loan originator in the Phoenix area. He became a Sooner fan his freshman year in 2005. We did lose to TCU. Adrian Peterson got injured, but he did not care. He was hooked from the first Boomer Sooner stadium call and return. His favorite Sooner memory is the 2008 Texas Tech game, hands down. He said his ears were ringing for days, and this year's playoff game is a very close second for the stadium atmosphere, and if we would have won, it definitely would have taken the cake. But I had the absolute pleasure of meeting him out in Phoenix this past fall at a watch party for the Bama game, and again, he's just a super fun guy. He's Boomer Sooner through and through. You guys will truly love my conversation with him as we recap the football season, look forward to next season, and just talk about some of our favorite memories and things. I know you guys will enjoy this episode. And you can find Jason. He's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. I will link him and tag him in the show notes and on social media throughout the week. So I hope that you guys enjoy my interview with Jason Grauerholz and his stories on how he met Kristen Chenoweth, Barry Switzer, and Blake Griffin. So I will see you guys next week where we talk sports. Well, I learned about you pretty quick when I was watching the game with you, and Eric was like, "This is you. I act just like that, just hollering and everything." So it's really funny. It's no wonder we hit it off pretty quick because we definitely have a lot in common.
I was having a time at the playoff game screaming. I was like, you got to be kidding me with some of these. I was like, what are you gonna do though? Can't control
I
it, but you can yell
know.
at it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just come out swinging about the CFP game because really cool that you got to come. I know the outcome was not what we wanted, but it was a really cool experience, and I'm sure you agree with that. I think it was probably one of the top 10 for sure, maybe a top 5 atmospheres that I've been in, and that's including the pregame. Like everything just throughout the whole day was incredible. I really hate that we didn't get the win. Obviously, that was the big thing. But what an atmosphere, what a game to be at for sure.
Man, it was. So I had a quick 24-hour turnaround because I had to get back for the holidays with my wife's family. But she's like, you can go as long as you're
Okay.
back on Saturday. And I was like, fine, I'll make it work. I don't care. My buddy was
Right?
like, I'm gonna get us set up. Just get here, right? So
Yeah.
I got in early. We drove up probably like the afternoon ish because I went from Dallas up to Ardmore where my buddy lives. Then drove
Yeah.
up from there. And yeah, like you said, the amount of actual bodies throughout the campus was something I've never seen
Insane.
before. And,
For sure.
as a student, you're usually hanging out kind of on the southeast end of because that's where my apartment was. But back in the
Uh-huh.
day, because I was there 2005, 2009, I think it was the South Oval was where everybody would tailgate. So you would just kind of walk around that
Yes.
area and then go into the student section. So being on the Northwest side, I was like, oh, okay, there's a lot more. Obviously, I can go to bars now.
Right.
We decided we were like, okay, we're here so early, so we all met right on campus corner, and then we said, so where should we start? I'm like, I have an idea because we're going to the Boomer Bash, which was all the way on the west side. I'm like, let's start at the Mont and just kind of work our way back. We weren't the only ones that did
Yeah.
that. a lot of
Sure.
swirl cheers is happening. Got the first Boomer Sooner chant of the day happening there.
Love it.
And then just kind of worked our way back in, just sipping on some cocktails. The Boomer Bash was
Love
fun.
it.
Got some food in our system. But
Yes.
then we were like, we have to check out game day. And game day
Yes.
was insane. I mean, being from New York, right? And I was with 3 other New
Uh-huh.
York guys. We just kind of like bullied our way to the front. We're like, we've been in clubs
Right.
before where there's too many people. Like, we know how to maneuver this. So we got ourselves like into a decent area, stayed for about 10 minutes. And we're like, okay, Joe C said to get in 45 minutes early. We're aiming to get in an hour early. Like, let's get going.
Right.
The second we left there, it was like masses of people back and forth, just like walking through each other.
Yes.
Everyone had the same idea.
Yes.
I can't imagine the amount of times I said, this is insane. This is, and,
No.
but because of like where we were and how happy we were, I didn't care, right? Like normal
Exactly.
crowds like
Yeah.
that, you're like, get me out of here as soon as possible. That I'm like, bring on more,
Absolutely.
bump me more, scream more. I don't care. Let's have a great time.
For
And
sure.
then, like you said, the stadium atmosphere was, like I said, my favorite game of all time was while I was in school. I got to go to the 2008 Texas Tech jump around game,
That
and
was a great one. Yeah.
but the theatrics that they threw onto this one, all the drones, the light shows, bringing out 50 Cent. I mean, it was. I was like, man, if we just got the W, in my opinion,
I
this would have
know.
taken over 2008 Texas Tech for me as best game day experience of my life
I
in
agree. I
any
agree.
setting.
For sure, I agree. So my seats are in the southwest corner, and we've sat around the same people for like 10 years, ever since that new section opened down there. And there's some people around us that are pretty mouthy and hyper and all the things, but then there's some people around us also that are more quiet, reserved, and they're watching, but they don't overreact like I do. But everybody around us in that game was just jumping, hollering, high five. Like everybody was riled up, even the quiet people, even my husband, who's
Yep.
a poke. I mean, he was so excited for this game and to be there. And like I said, I really hate, I do agree with you though. I think if we had gotten the win, hands down, I think it would have been the best atmosphere at OU for sure. Now, I will say, I was in college during 2000, so I was there our national
Lucky.
championship year. Yes, so I was there for the Nebraska game when we dethroned them and became number one. So that one holds a special place in my heart for sure. I don't know that anything can necessarily top that for me. But the '08 Tech game, absolutely up there in the top 5 for sure. And then this one, I think this one may have tied for number one, or been a number 2 spot for me had we won.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, everything about it was fantastic. And I've talked about it 100 times, but I don't know that it'll ever get old because I'm a big fan of Toby Rowland. I love to listen to the post game. And when he stuck his head out of the press box and did the ending of the scene setter, like right there in the stadium, I was like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
It was awesome. So that was one of my favorite moments for sure.
I was like, why did I stop recording? I was like, it's Toby. I mean, we were just screaming. I'm like, he's out of the box screaming. I was like, that was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
If that didn't get the energy started, as if it wasn't already there, right? But like, I love Toby Rowland's calls. It's unfortunate. Too. It's like we have to listen to Greg McElroy half the freaking time that we're in the SEC now. Like, don't get me started on listening to the Alabama pusher. But I was like, every time I go back to Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, right? It's always to look at how Toby Rowland called it. And I'll be listening to it on full blast, and my wife's like, why are you watching this again? Didn't you just watch the game? I'm like, yes, but I didn't get to watch it with this energy. I'm like, this is, if I had a glorious radio voice, like, this is me, but it's like, I just got a normal voice, like, nothing exciting.
Yeah.
I'm like, it just makes the play that much better to watch,
I agree. I'm always watching back the highlights with his voice synced up to it. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I actually had him on the podcast back in the summer, I think in July. And he's like the nicest human being that you will ever meet. I've met him in person several times. He's so kind. He's so humble. And even when I was recording with him, I was like, I think you're the best. Of course, I know we're biased, but also like even Eric as a Pope, even other people I know that aren't Sooner fans, they're like, he's good. Like he's fun to listen to, but he's so humble. Like if you tell him that, he's just like, thank you. Mm-hmm. Like he's just so humble, and I really respect him for that. And he's just a super cool guy for sure. So that definitely got it going in the stadium for sure.
Yeah, the Oklahoma way, as I like to say, right? And that's why so many fans come to our stadium and they're like, you guys are like the nicest fans, even when you lose. Like, It's like, we had a great experience. I'm like, unfortunately. But it's like, yeah, we're humble. We like to have a good time. We like to travel to other stadiums, but we also know where to stay away from, right? Unless it's Texas. That's the only one we ain't humble for them. I don't care about any of them.
No, me neither. I can't stand Texas, and I always tell people the one place you'll never catch me is Austin. I can't go there, which I doubt we'll ever do a home and home for football, which is totally fine with me. But like, I can't go there for softball, basketball. Like, I'm not going there, period.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure I would end up in jail. It's just not the place for me. And another place that I will never go is Baton Rouge. I was at the Sugar Bowl in 2004, and it was hands down one of the worst experiences of my life.
I've heard that's hostile there. No, thank you.
Well,
I had to go.
Not winning didn't help. Yeah.
Of course. I've had to go to Austin twice for bachelor parties, and sure, you bet your ass, I don't care. I wore full gear, walked straight through, and I just stare at people. I'm like, go ahead. I dare you to say something. I don't care that I'm in enemy territory.
Right.
I'm like, but look, these were during the glory days, right? Where we had like Landry Jones, Baker, Kyler, Jalen, just everyone beating up on them.
Yes.
Like, this was a fun time. Now they're like, okay, now you're making it competitive again. It was nice when we just dominated you for like 10 years.
Oh man, it sure was nice. We are long overdue for a win in Dallas for sure. I've sat through way too many losses in the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't want to do that again. So fingers crossed, I know I say this every year. I feel like there's some sort of ray of hope, heading into the new season. But we got the Texas kid that committed to OU from the portal, that Parker Livingston. He's pretty exciting player to watch. So I'm like, okay, he's going to have an extra behind him to really go out and kick their ass. So fingers crossed for sure that they can join forces and get it done.
Well, the biggest fingers crossed you have to have based on the last 4 years, just give me a healthy quarterback for us. Like, they keep bragging on how much they're beating us. It's like DG went out with a concussion one year. Then he came back, beat your asses. Awesome, right? Then last year, John's got a broken hand, probably came back too soon. But Michael Hawkins didn't give us enough confidence after Kent State that he could have rolled. But I still think, he was questioning everything that first game. It was too much hype at that time. Injuries everywhere. It's like, you guys can't play us with a healthy quarterback. It's been proven time and time again. The only time you got away with it was the Kyler year. Of course, I was there for that one, and that was disappointing. That was just refs late. The phantom flags were coming in left and right. But at the same time, Lincoln Riley doesn't know how to call a defense either, obviously. So we had the worst defense of all time. But I've been listening to To a lot of the Parker Livingston stuff, like that was a negative breakup. It sounded like something happened internally.
Yeah.
So nothing makes me happier than, someone born and bred in Texas that wanted to go to that school, wasn't recruited.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Baker, right? Like didn't get recruited by them.
Right?
What do? They want to have a game. He is going to have an absolute monster of a game, that one. They just should feed him the whole time.
So.
Everyone else can just take off.
I think so. I agree. It's crazy because I've seen in the last couple of days after Parker committed to OU, there's been, 3 or 4 other guys leaving Texas. And I'm like, what the hell's going on down there in Austin?
There's a Sark to NFL rumor that it is spreading fast, and you're seeing bigger names go in. I know Kobe Black, I think, was one that just went in.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Trust me, I have the Twitter feeds from Parker Thune, Brandon Drum, and then
same.
Then I rely on one friend that has the OU Insider. He sends us the script. Sorry, guys, we don't all subscribe, but it's like we get our news in our group, But I was like, oh my god, I think they have 26 total guys in the transfer portal as of this morning when I checked. So we have a lot too, but it's like guys that I'm like, okay, from the way it's feeling, right? Like the linebacker core specifically, right? I want Kobe McKenzie to go have, a heck of a year. Sammy Omosigo, go ball out. But what is that telling us? Yes. That's telling us that highly likely Kip Lewis is coming back. Owen Heineke possibly is going to win this appeal. And then you bring in, Cole Sullivan from Michigan?
Yep.
And they were talking last year that they were mad that they weren't playing him more because there were so many scouts saying this kid's going to be a first-round draft pick in 2027. And it's like, oh, and you weren't playing him, and we just took him, and he's going to be coached by Brent Venables? Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all we ever want is to watch ballers like that in the middle of the field. So,
absolutely.
I mean, that's just me, right? I'm not an insider. I don't know any news. But I'm fully predicting. I'm like, this has to be good news. It can't be otherwise because there's no way they would let them go, especially Kobe, who played a good amount early on in the season, and Sammy, who subbed in a lot this year. It's like this could have been your year to start. But if you're transferring, there's a reason you're probably not going to start. I agree.
It's like we had all these tight ends going in the portal before it technically came out about Joe John getting let go. And then Carson Kent actually released a statement on his Instagram that said, depending on how things go, he could come out of the portal and decide to stay. But he didn't. He was like, I don't know who my coach is going to be, so I'm going to go in the portal, which...
It's only Jason Witten.
Necessarily. I know. So I'm like, okay, so it's Jason Witten. So is he going to reverse course and be like, I'm coming back now. I got to come back. So and I like Carson Kent. If he does choose to come back, I think that obviously would be a great move for him to be coached by Jason Witten, of course. And I think he had a lot of potential. But if he chooses to move on, then so be it. But we've got a good group coming in so far from the portal, and I'm very excited about Jason Witten. When that news dropped, I was like, is this for real? I had not heard that rumor, and so when I saw it, I was just like, okay, this is KREF that was reporting it, what I saw, and I thought, okay, well, it's legit. If KREF is reporting it, it's legit. So that's just amazing.
Yeah, because there's now like a viral video going around of Parker Thune being like, Jason Witten's just a false dream. It was just like a hype thing, and it's not going to happen. Yeah. Everyone thought it was going to be the Bama guy, right? And then like they're reposting it, and he's just like, yep, ate my words, didn't see it coming, glad it did happen, right? It's like, no, everyone's going to be like, cool, I was wrong. This is exactly what we wanted. It's like, this is a guy, another guy from the league, one of DeMarco's teammates. I'm not on the hype train of fired DeMarco Murray. We don't have a running back problem. We have an offensive line problem if you actually know football. It's like... You can't run through a block wall. It's just we got young guys that are working their way up. It's been a little bit of a mess, and now I think it's finally coming together.
I think so too. I mean, to have DeMarco and Witten on the same coaching staff, like who would not want to play for that? Who would not want to be coached by those guys, like some of the greatest football players ever? And of course, DeMarco did great things at OU, but then later in the NFL as well. And then Jason Witten, I saw a video yesterday of him he catches the ball, point of contact, runs, gets hit by like 3 guys from different angles, helmet comes off, he just turns around and keeps going. And I saw where Rocky Beers, who is the tight end from Colorado State, that's Reagan Beers' brother, he's coming in from the portal, and he said, I just hope that he can teach me to catch my ball without a helmet and truck some dudes.
Yeah.
And I was like, absolutely, that is spot on what we all want to see, because he is a fun player to watch.
I was going to say that, and that's the kind of tight end we need, right? We want a guy that wants to run through walls, because that's been our issue. We need guys that can block, that will just annihilate someone. So that's why you are coming to Oklahoma.
Absolutely. We haven't had a big guy tight end in a minute. I mean, Austin Stogner was a pretty big dude, but like Mark Andrews, like this Rocky Bears guy seems to be pretty comparable to a Mark Andrews. And then the Florida kid whose name has totally escaped.
Hansen.
Hayden. Yeah. Yes, Hayden Hansen. I have a lot of hope with their size and their videos and plays I've seen. So it's very promising for sure. We've had a great week in the portal, just a lot going on. So I'm thrilled.
Yeah, they're killing it. I have zero complaints right now. It's the sad thing, right? It's like, you're bringing the things that you need, but like I always said, most of these guys on the team that are at the portal, it's like, okay, like I'm not upset about it. You weren't going to probably play. You were probably a depth piece, right? The only ones I'm upset about, but I'm happy for, is Shree Williams. I was like, he's going to be in the league. He just had shoulder issues left and right with us. So I get it. You want a fresh start, but it's like you still would have been starting healthy in Oklahoma. And like Corlett Guillory would be subbing in. Eli Bowen would be opposite you. Like no issues there. But it's like, that one hurt. I really think Marcus Strong hurt, especially going to Clemson. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, but it's like you were going to be in the focus of the rotation this year. What are you doing? But I get it, right? Sometimes you got to go. And then Sammy and Kobe, I think, were the only other ones that truly shocked me. Everybody else, like I thought the whole offensive line was going to be gutted as it was. We got too much youth there, and we're only bringing in pieces to make it starter ready. They're getting older. We all knew Barnes was going. He needed to. He's got to be RB1. He deserves it.
Yeah.
So, but otherwise, and then Michael Hawkins. And his brother. I was not shocked by that at all. Not at all.
I was not either. And I knew, assuming the year that John Mateer had with his injury and just not ending the way that we all wanted and the way that he wanted, I was like, he's going to come back. And I mean, where else would he go? And he's obviously not going to go in the draft after the year that he had. He wants more time to prove himself. And so I thought, he's coming back. Hawkins is out of here. And I hate it just because I hate when I see those OU legacy players. I hate when we lose them, but I understand why. And I'm happy for him and his brother. They stayed together. They're out at West Virginia, so good for them.
Yep, they came in. Now they left, so we opened the door for the Jandro brothers. They're coming in next.
Yes, for sure. Oh,
we all love brother duos that come in.
Absolutely. Yeah, speaking of those, the Jandro brothers, are they from out your direction, aren't they?
Yeah, so they live in Chandler, Arizona. It's funny because I DM'd, I think it was Nico. Not Bo. I think it was Nico. Because he allowed his settings to be open. So thanks, Nico. But they ended up, they went to the playoff game, but I had like a last minute thought for the club. I was like, hey, this was before the rankings came out. I'm like, God forbid we lose home field advantage. Would you guys want to come to the club and do like a Meet the Jandro brothers? Like, oh my God, we didn't even know there was a club. Like, absolutely. Like, we would love to do that. But if it's a home game, we're going. I'm like, look, probably me too, right? But yeah, they're local boys. You look at their pictures. I was very intimidated to actually meet them in person. Hopefully we will one day. But I was just like, there's some big boys for seniors in high school. My God, I don't know. Look, whatever's in the water here, I'm not getting it. They're getting it. I'm not. That's just how big they are. It's unreal.
They are massive. I love it. But yeah, they're very exciting just to see them sign. And again, like we love our brother duos. So I'm ready for them to get to Norman for sure.
They seem to always work out for the most part, right? Yeah. So we'll keep them coming. I love it.
They do. Okay, so what were your overall thoughts of the season? I mean, I know obviously we wanted that win in the CFP game, and who wouldn't, but we played a CFP game at home in Norman.
Yeah.
And we ended the season at 10-3, including that game. I don't know that anybody, well, I'll just say for myself, I wouldn't have said that at the beginning of the year. I was thinking more of a 9-3 season, hoping for a bowl win a good bowl game win situation. And I certainly did not think we were going to get a home CFP game. I didn't think we were going to beat Bama and Tennessee back-to-back on the road. Would have never bet on that for sure, especially after we lost to Ole Miss at home, which they are an excellent team, as we saw in the playoffs. But the Texas game, that loss, it hurt, obviously. but I kind of had reasons in my head why we didn't win it, which we talked about. But after the Ole Miss loss, I was like, I just don't know how we're going to beat Tennessee and Bama on the road. So anyway, all that being said, after all that happened, especially, I was ecstatic the way the season ended. Again, wish we would have gotten the win in the CFP game. I was planning for us to make it to Pasadena. I really thought we were going to at least make it there at that point. But I would say overall with the season, I was pleased with how it went. And 10-3 with that CFP loss at home, it sucks, but it went a hell of a lot better than I thought it was going to. So what were your thoughts going into the season, and how did you think during the season where we were going to end up?
Yeah, well, I mean, I like to say I'm like an Oklahoma fan realist. You know, I see what we have on paper as excited. I'm going to root as hard as I can every time, as excited as I can get. There are years we've got into where I'm like, this is a natty run year. Like, if we don't go to the natty, we failed somewhere, right? Like, and I have those feelings, and I have to be honest, I've always been right when it happens. I knew 2008 when we would make that run, and I knew the Baker year we'd make the run. I've never had a feeling that since. And yeah, we won't go into that right now, but unless we want to later. Yeah. But what I'm when I looked, you look at the schedule, you know immediately, right? And I'm like, this is a bruiser. For some reason, the SEC decided, let's give Texas all the cupcakes, let's screw over the Oklahoma Sooners, because that's what it's felt like for the last 2 years. So realistically, I categorize it as a good year for us is going to be 8-4. A great year is going to be 9-3. Didn't think anything beyond that, just because I thought we had Michigan in the bag. It's always a toss up with Texas. Like, Ole Miss is loaded. Tennessee is loaded. Alabama became questionable, but after they beat Georgia early in the season, you're like, oh crap, we got to go to them after embarrassing them last year. I was like, there's no way we're going to make it through this entire stretch. Mizzou, I never call it Missouri. It's Mizzou. I never worry about them. I hate their fans. I hate their people. Next to Texas, they talk too much. So never was worried about them, even though that was a much closer game than I anticipated. And LSU, like LSU to me is kind of like the Lane Kiffin Ole Miss, where it's like they're kind of our kryptonite. They may not be that good in that year, but for some reason we just cannot blow them out. We cannot play them properly. So I was always just like question marks around these games. And as we got going, then you had the hand injury, right? That I think it felt like the ship was sinking after the Ole Miss game. And I'm a firm believer, and I still say it to this day, not only was that a winnable game, I never thought the rain would affect us like it did. I thought it would affect them much more. But when you watch our defensive line that whole first half, they are sliding left and right all over the field. You give that defensive line traction, and Chambliss, that kid is a baller. Like, got to give it to him. But he was just loading up on 3rd and 17 on us and converting down the field to a position where our corners couldn't even get a hand up. Just like perfect balls. You can't stop that. But at the same time, we lived off of getting pressure to the quarterback, and we couldn't do it for one half of football. And then it started to dry up in the second half, and you saw the changes. We were actually like gaining some momentum. So with that loss, I was with you. I was like, okay, can they do it? I mean, is the talent there? The defense is there. That's the way I looked at it. I'm like, this is the most elite defense I've probably ever seen here, even over 2008. I was just like, these kids are hungry. And I love it. But it's like, they can only keep you alive for so long. You got to score some damn points, right? So the Tennessee game, that was a fun one. That was probably one of my least favorite going into it, favorite at the end. Least favorite because it was Halloween the night before. Had a little Halloween party. Thomas was out of town, so I had to run the bar by myself. And I walked in, I'm like, oh, like, here we go, right? But we had like 14, 15 just hardcore fans there celebrating at the top of their lungs. Alabama then was the following week. That was crazy. We had a lot more people there for that one.
Yes.
So when we actually ended, with just Mizzou, and LSU, I was like, we actually have a shot to go this year. We could make it. Now, even going into it, here's the problem with Oklahoma with me, right? Once they get my hype train going, I can't stop. I came into the season a realist. I was like, 9-3 is going to be a great year. Then you give me 10-2. You give me home field against a team that we've already beaten twice in the last 2 years. I'm like, we're going all the way to the final. I told my buddy, he was like, if I put $50 on Oklahoma to win it all, what do you think? Is it worth it? I'm like, if you're going to win $5,000 off it, yeah, totally worth it. Do it. We're going. I'm like, we have the easiest path. Sure. All we got to do is get through Alabama again. I think Indiana is the lesser of the two better teams compared to Ohio State, but looks like Ohio State was frauds. Sure. So maybe Indiana is really good. We'll find out tonight. But for tonight even, I don't think you can beat a team twice this year. We've lost to Alabama on the second round of it. Georgia lost to Ole Miss on the second round of it. Now Oregon gets their second shot at Indiana. If Oregon wins, it just proves one thing. I'm going off topic here, but College Football Playoff Committee, God forbid you get word of this, stop giving us rematches in the playoff. I don't care if we're supposed to be the 6th ranked team or the 7th ranked team. Switch it up just so we get a different matchup. It should, like, if we have to meet them again in the semifinal or the final, yes, it was meant to be. But first round, second round, avoid it. No one's going to cry over being the 8th or 9th ranked team if they get to play a different opponent. Now, that being said, I also think they absolutely screwed us. Bama should have dropped one spot after getting owned by Georgia in the SEC championship. No team has lost that badly in a championship game and not dropped at least one spot. They still would have been in, but you would have had them playing A&M, who they did not play this year, us playing Miami, who kind of is looking like maybe I'm glad we didn't play them because they've turned on the cylinders now. But I still think that was a better matchup for us. I think that would have been a good defensive battle. And it also would have been somebody new that hasn't seen our blitz schemes fully, right? That's one thing Brent was genius at this year, is just like these teams could not prep properly for our defense. But, you know, Bama, they've seen it once. They've seen some tells. They can pick up on it. So the second round, we weren't getting to Ty Simpson as easily as we were the first time. You know, it's kind of an unfair advantage. So that's my little Jason going off on his tangents. But, you know, it's one of those, it just frustrates the hell out of me because I'm like, it also makes, you know, viewership, even though we were the most watched game, I think, in the first round, I think everybody would have rather seen everybody playing a different team, right? And not playing the same teams if possible. But who knows what's going to happen in the future. So overall, from your original question, to me, this is an A-plus season for me. Did not expect to make the playoff. Competed well in the playoff, just had some things not go our way properly, had some phantom flags that always seem to come. R. Mason Thomas was being held the entire game by Jaden Proctor. Whoever takes Proctor in the first round is getting a massive bust. What an idiot. He just holds left and right. But it's they didn't throw any flags for us, you know? And then they threw the unsportsmanlike one, some phantom pass interference one. I'm like, these guys are playing football. I was like, when you see the guy's jersey being dragged as he's already around the corner on the offensive tackle, like, that's a flag. But we didn't get it. But either way, A-plus on the year. The tears coming back, hopefully healthy. You know, the biggest thing for me with John is, like, all I want him to do this offseason, sit down and watch some tape. I just want you to watch tape, and I want you to sit with Brent Venables on defenses on what cues you can look out for. Because it's all head. It's all in his head. He's even said, I'm not seeing the field well multiple times this year. It's like, dude, you're just not trusting yourself anymore. And I get it. You came from Washington State where everybody's wide open because you played nobody, right? You got a lot smaller windows and a lot quicker decisions to make. But the big thing about going to the playoff game for me, it's the first time when you're live there, you get to see the whole field. I mean, Giovanni Gibson was open the entire game down the field, wide open, at least 3 times I counted. Satania was open twice down the field. And if he just saw it and let it go, like, we would have blown him out of the water. We started to immediately, and if he just let it launch and trusted it, we would have been fine. For sure. I'm hoping that with the offensive line getting a little older, you know, we had 2 true freshmen and a sophomore on the line. Now, these guys are going to be ballers for us. I think Eddie Pierre-Louis, Susie, and Foje, like, they're going to be the core. They're all, it's going to be back like in 2008 where we had 3 guys selected in the first 4 picks. Like, I could see all 3 of them, if they all declared at the same time, going in the first round. They have that talent. They're just young. They need some time, you know, to figure it out, to bulk up a little bit. My sophomore year, too, like, once they get back in the gym this year, they're going to be 10, 15 pounds heavier next year. And it's just, and I know, like, I love listening to Gabe Eichert when he talks about the offensive line. He's just like on Eddie Pierre-Louis and Fasusi, like white on rice. But it's because he sees the potential of them. And he's just like, they got to get their hands right. They got to get their footwork right. It's like the second they do that, no one's getting through them.
I agree.
So I'm very hopeful for the next year.
For sure. I do agree this was an A-plus season. Knocked it out of the park compared to anything that I ever thought was actually going to turn out for us, especially after our mid-season woes.
Yeah.
But I think a healthy John Mateer is key. And Game Day did that spot with him before the CFP game where they were talking to him about his injury and all of the aspects of it. And that's something that one of my other friends and I had talked about for a while, is the mental aspect of his injury and just trying to protect himself from getting hurt again or being nervous or all of those things, on top of him just not getting a good view of the field and all of that. But I think there's so many factors that play into that. But I think getting him healthy and moving past that injury and having more time to prepare, like you said, with Coach Venables and looking at defenses and just knowing he can trust his O-line to block for him and things like that. I just think another year in the system is just going to work out well for us. And same thing, like you said, with the O-line. It's crazy. I was actually thinking about Baker Mayfield. Like, he's had a different OC every year he's been in the NFL. Some seasons he's had 2 OCs, and almost the same thing with OU the last handful of years. There's been a different OC every daggum year. And so I'm like, our OC's coming back. Our quarterback's coming back. Finally, right? And a lot of staples in our O-line, like you discussed, those guys are going to come back and get stronger. Like, why would we not be excited about that? And now we're working and getting all these pieces to plug in and do great things. And I'm just like, okay. I was trying to be a realist at the beginning of the season as well, and it turned out far better than I could have imagined. So I think I'm going to struggle being a quote realist this coming season. I'm going to be more hopeful and have bigger dreams, because I'm like, look what we did last year when nobody thought that we could. So this season is going to be that much better, right? So
this upcoming season is it's semifinal or bust at this point. I'm not sure if we're fully final ready. I mean, I want to believe that, but it's like it's semifinal or bust, or it's not a good year to me to this upcoming year. Just like you said, I'm
we've
zero
got
excuse
to go further.
Yeah, but this is also like Kip comes back, Owen Heineke comes back, Satania comes back.
Yes.
There's the big 3 right now that we are just like, oh my God, if you 3 are here, I am fully confident along the way. But it's like, gonna pump the brakes until then, because otherwise we got a real issue at linebacker going into next year if not.
Oh gosh. Well, I think no news is good news as far as Kip goes and Satanga. I feel like if they were going to jump and make a move, they would have already done it. So I'm assuming they're coming back, knock on wood. As far as Owen Heineke, I don't know when we will hear something on that decision. I saw it right before we hopped on that Chambliss, it said NCAA denied his appeal for another year. So I'm like, okay, so he's already got a denial on his. So I don't know what we're looking at as far as Heineke goes, but I mean, I'm assuming he'll hear something by the end of the month, because he's got like these Senior Bowl invitations and all those things that he'll want to partake in. But I would love to have him back. I mean, I struggle a lot with the people appealing and getting more time in the NCAA. Just like, okay, sometimes you just got to move on. And it really frustrates me when we've got 25-year-old quarterbacks playing in college football. I mean, it happened to us against Florida State 25 years ago, and here we are still having this conversation. But I think for Owen Heineke, I think there's special situations. And like for him to have played maybe 30 minutes total of lacrosse as a walk-on 4 years ago, like, get real. Come on.
It's not even football.
Give the guy. It's not. No, and that's the thing too. Toby Rowland was talking about this, I believe, in the post game after the CFP. But he was talking about how there's so many different rules for every sport as far as your red shirt goes and burning your eligibility and all of that. And you can play 4 whole games of football and still use a red shirt. Whereas you step on the basketball court or the diamond for the diamond sports and you've burned your eligibility. And so it's just crazy the difference in the time that you can play as an athlete just across so he was just saying it needs to be a blanket, something across the board, like a time period or something. But anyway, all that being said, come on, NCAA, give us Owen Heineke back for another year.
Yeah, or as we always like to say, don't hold your breath. It's the NCAA. They don't know anything. It's just like, oh God, these people
You're
again.
Exactly right.
Just get rid of them already.
They don't.
Let corporate America take over.
Absolutely. It drives me crazy. Well, and I think we were texting last night too about the officiants in the postseason and just how crappy they've been. And I just feel like we talked about the flags not thrown during our game, and then there were some last night as well, and there's been some in every game. But there's just been some crazy crap, and it blows my mind. I feel like if we're going to have this playoff system, which we should, and I wouldn't be opposed to it expanding a little bit more and having maybe 16 teams. But if we're going to do that, we've got to have competent, consistent officiants And that has not happened in this postseason at all. And it's been super frustrating. And it's not, I mean, the first game, obviously, we were in the first round. So that affected me personally as my team. But after that, I mean, I'm sitting there watching these other teams that don't affect me really whatsoever. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, it's just so irritating. So I'm like, NCAA, get your shit together on all levels. Like, just get it together. I just feel like, what are you doing?
I'm like, can we start putting some fines on them? Like, if it's borderline obvious, where it's almost like corrupt, right? Just don't pay them. We're taking half your paycheck away. You think they're going to start paying attention more? I mean, I think it was even in the game last night where Kewan Lacey's head was basically dragged off in a face mask, no flag. I'm like, the entire world saw his head jerk around and like nothing. So it's the soft calls. It's the ones where they're barely touching anyone and they throw a fit and like a heartbreaker too, 15-yard flags. It's like, we're asking you to just call simple ones, a holding call. Like my buddy Nick, he's the funniest one because I've never seen anyone celebrate as hard as him when we get a holding call because we might get 2 a year. Like because our guys are just getting held left and right all season, and we just
all the time.
There should be 8 for 80 yards almost every game we play. When you go back and look at the tape and how our guys are getting dragged to the ground, and we can't even get one.
Yeah,
we can't get one. But if our guy puts a hand up and he brushes, the front of his helmet in any way, it's like unsportsmanlike conduct, roughing the passer. Like, give me a break. Yeah. Like, just give me something simple. And like, it's either calls absolutely nothing or they call absolutely everything, right? There's no in between of just calling the damn game right. Like, we want you to let them play.
Exactly.
But if the guy in the back row of section 400 is screaming his face off because he saw someone getting face masked and you had to throw a flag, like, I don't understand. We don't even need binoculars up there to see it, and we can see it better than you. And there's so many of you on the field. Just throw it.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yes, I agree. And it seems like there's so many times when stuff is happening, like right in front of one of the refs, and you're like, how did you not see this?
Mm-hmm.
It's right there.
I'm loving that Brent's starting to get more angry with them now, finally.
Yes. Me too. And I love when he gets angry. It's very entertaining to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first thing I asked when we got to our home game for the CFP, I was like, where are these refs from? Does anybody know what conference they're from? Because I just wanted to know where they came from, because I was hoping that we had gotten a good officiating crew and I wasn't going to be frustrated with them, but obviously that didn't happen. But anyway, I don't know why people don't listen to us, because we know what we're talking about.
Right? Seems simple enough, right?
It absolutely does. It absolutely does. Well, I think we could talk all day on football for sure, but I think we can both agree that it was a very successful season. Learned a lot, grew a lot. We have a lot to be hopeful for going into another new season, and we have a little consistency coming back for next season, and I'm super thankful for that. So I'll be ready.
Me too. Counting down the days already.
I count down pretty much when the CFP final is over. I start counting down right then. I'm like, how many days do we have to go? Because I'm always ready. So, okay, are you much into any other sports, or are you mainly just a football guy?
I'm anything OU, I'll watch. But if I had to rank it out, it's football 1, OU softball 2, kind of basketball. I love March Madness. Like, I like when we get to that, but it's like, there's not much to root for when it comes to our men's basketball team. The women's basketball team, fantastic. It's fun being able to check in on them, even though they had a tough loss yesterday. I'm like, hey, we got the number. They get the number 1 recruit finally. Something exciting. No, I love the softball team. So I got most of my sports fandom from my mom, even though both of my parents coach. She's kind of the crazed fan that turned me into who I am. So she is obsessed with Patty Gasso. So she was just like, she's just the greatest coach I've ever seen. She's like, I just don't understand how she does this time and time again with these girls. She's patient. She doesn't scream at any of them. She lives in the moment, but she's very strategic in how she coaches. And I started watching it more. I'm like, she's just kind of like I call her like a calm killer. Like, you never see her really lose her mind. And that's like, the more pissed off Patty gets, the bigger her smile is. It's the funniest thing ever. It's just like, when the umpire's just like calling like easy strikes balls or whatever it may be, it cracks me up. Just like her smile is so big of just like it's almost like she's like smiling how much of an idiot you are. Like, how did you not see what's happening?
Yes.
But we were in Aruba a couple years ago with my parents for one of the softball championship runs, and they don't have local TV, so I'm streaming on ESPN. My mom and I are literally in a sports bar getting a drink at the resort we're at, watching the final on my phone that they ended up winning. But it's like we got to go last year to see Love's Field for the first time. It was
awesome, good, yeah.
Freezing game, so we weren't properly prepared for that. I mean, we had enough layers to like handle it, but like we needed like blanket. We see people walking in with blankets. We're like, oh, we're not prepared for this one.
Oh crap!
So, and then this year, luckily this airs later. My mom doesn't know yet, but they're playing ASU to kick off the season here, so I just picked up tickets for that one. So I love the softball games. I look at like softball games kind of like watching live hockey. Honestly. It's not too long. It's not too short. There's a lot of action quickly, and you're out. You're like fully satisfied with it. Football, you're committing all day, right? And I love it. But my wife, she's like, I'd much rather, after the softball game, she's like, I'd much rather go to a softball game than go to a football game any day of the week. She's like, that was a lot nicer.
Yes.
So, but I try and support and watch any and all of them that I can. I've been trying to. I just haven't been able to make it. But the OU men's golf usually has. I think the NCAA championship is here, or at least they have had it here at Gainey Ranch, which is literally around the corner from where I live. And twice I'm like, I need to go, and I don't go. Of course, so I'm like, maybe this year if we make it back, I'll try and go this year. But
so cool.
If there's an OU on it and it's streaming on TV, I'm probably watching it in some way, shape, or form.
Same for me. And I've gotten, I guess most people would say, you've gotten worse with your fandom since I started doing my podcast, but I don't consider it being or getting worse. I'm just living my best life.
Yeah.
But I mean, hockey, we have a club hockey team we went and saw while we were out in Phoenix. Actually, they were playing at ASU. So we've been to that. I am trying to learn and get used to watching soccer, volleyball, track and field. I don't know anything about, but I had the coach on. He invited me to a practice, and I met a lot of the kids, and they want me to come to a couple of the meets, so I'm going to do that. So yeah, if there's an OU on it, I'm rooting it on too, and I've become even more so like that since doing what I'm doing, because it's fun to root for our school and our kids that represent us. And I can't imagine doing anything else better with my time.
Yeah. The only negative I say about living in Arizona is it's too far from all the local games, right? It's just like, if I lived in Norman, I told my wife, I was like, if I was alone right now, I probably would have just moved back there, gotten a bartending job, and just going to all the sporting events. Just so I could either watch it on TV at the bar or watch it live in person. I would have tried to be involved with everything.
Absolutely.
So
I can't
I'll pull
anything else better to do.
As I always like to joke, maybe I'll pull a Ben Arbuckle, go to the local high school football team, be like, all right, teach me how to coach, and my goal is to work my way up to be a coach for Oklahoma. That's it. Once I'm there, I'm done.
Oh yeah.
And that'll be the honey. We got the dream job. You're moving back to Norman. You're going to deal with it. Like there's no way around it this time. It's the only way I'll probably get her back there. So
is she from Oklahoma?
Yeah. So we met in school at Oklahoma, and it was funny. We were actually like best friends for like 12 years. Hadn't really like maybe dated a friend or two, right? And then all of a sudden, when we were lined up in New York City, we just kind of something clicked. We're like, oh, why aren't we together? We get along great. Right. We're attracted to each other, but I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
But then, literally 2 months into us like starting to date in New York, she took a little film she was doing at the time in Arizona. I was like, I think I'm going to start a new life here. I'm like, cool. What am I going to do, right? So I packed up everything. I said, I've been done with New York City for 2 years anyways. I was like, let's try out Arizona. I'm working in real estate. All I got to do is get a new license in a new state, right? So I was like, I can move anywhere. I can work anywhere. So just said, let's give it a shot, and haven't looked back ever since.
I love it. Okay, so I saw that you got your degree in musical theater, which obviously explains how you know Nick Gelona. So is that how you ended up in New York after college? Did you go up there for something like that?
My professors loved and hated me at the same time at school. Loved me because I ended up doing I think I did like 6 of the 8 musicals that we did at the time. I was cast in some way, shape, or form. But my voice teacher hated me because I was a football fan. So every fall, there's voice lessons once to twice a week. I'm coming fresh off a football game where I've been screaming for 3.5 hours. And I had a high tenor type voice. I was like a belter back in school. I couldn't hit any notes. He's like, you have to stop going to football games. I'm like, never. I'm like, what? What? I get the college experience once. I was like, it's your fault. I was like, you toured us around campus when I came to audition and you showed me that stadium. I'm going to that stadium every time I can possibly get.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's how I ended up. I went to New York. I tried it out for a couple years. I always like telling this story. I was doing it. It was funny enough. I was doing a show here in Arizona in Peoria, and it was over Thanksgiving break, which is one of my favorite holidays because it revolves around my two favorite F's: food and football. Right? I'm asking the entire cast. I'm like, I know you guys are probably not the biggest sports people, but like for Thanksgiving, because we were doing like a big like cookout all together, I was like, all I ask is that we have football on TV. It's just part of my tradition. They're like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. After the first game ended, they're like, okay, let's put something else on. I'm like, no, there's 2 more games. They're like, oh, we can't do that. So I end up leaving in the middle of Thanksgiving. I mean, we had eaten at this point, but they wanted to watch some like show or documentary on some famous music theater person. I don't even know. I'm not even that. I was just good at it. I wasn't even that big of a fan. And I walk across the street to the only sports bar that's open, which was a Hooters. And I'm there with 4 of the local drunks. And these girls are like, what are you doing? Like, you don't fit in right now with this place. I'm like, I'm doing a show over there and I need to watch some football. They're like, here's a beer, have fun. And I was like, and I just sat there. It was at that moment, I'm like, I don't think this is my career. I don't think this is where I'm meant to be. Just like just what all failed actors do, right? Get your real estate license. So I got my license in 2013 and been doing it ever since.
Oh my gosh. That is a fantastic story because I have found that it's very difficult to find people who have the level of a fandom that people like me and you have. And when we find somebody that has it, we recognize it and we hold on to that person.
Yeah.
Because it's very rare. Like you said, there's so many people who are like, but football game, okay. But like you said, no, there's 2 more games on. Like we gotta watch those too. And I don't care that OU's not playing. I'm still watching the CFP. Mm-hmm. I'm still watching bowl games. I still watch the NFL games. Like, I don't care. I just, if it's on, I'm watching it. And if OU's playing, that obviously trumps anything else. But yeah, if there's sports on, I'm involved in it. And most people don't understand that because they're like, well, but OU's not playing. And I'm like, and? There's a sporting event, I'm going. So my husband, even though he is a poke, obviously is a sports lover as well. So I'm very thankful for that we share that passion and that love. And I every now and then have to give in and go to Stillwater with him. But a lot of times we split during football season. Like he'll be in Stillwater and I'll be in Norman. And we're just like, love you, see you tomorrow. Yeah. I mean, it just is what it is. I mean,
that's awesome.
I mean, I'm not going to take that away from him and he's not going to take that away from me. And we share it together when we can. And yeah, but it's important to find our people and cling to them for sure, because there's not a lot of crazy people like us, but I love it when we find them.
And you know, it's fun. So it's like my wife, she's not the biggest like sports fan, right? But if it's on, she's going to watch it, right? And she always says, she's like, I need to know what my husband's mood's going to be later. So I'm obviously going to watch it. But when we watch games together, when it becomes an exciting game, she'll scream at the top of her lungs when we score like a big touchdown or something. And I'm like, oh, are we starting to become more of a fan? Are we? You know? And she's like, well, it's my school. I am an alumni. So yeah, I'm getting excited. But she's the same way. When like I watch any other college football games, she's like, well, why are you watching this one? I'm like, because it affects the rankings. Then with the NFL games, she's like, why are you watching the Cardinals? They suck. I was like, because Kyler Murray's on the team. Why are you watching Tampa Bay? Because Baker's on the team. Right? I have fantasy football teams too, but I'm like, I'm mostly watching from like, you know, I was born and bred a depressed Jets fan, right? So when I moved to Arizona, I'm like, I'm going to take in the Arizona Cardinals as my NFC team, only because that they drafted Kyler Murray, and then Hollywood Brown came here for a bit. That was fun.
Yes, that was
we ended up, I don't know if you can see it in the back, the little Cardinals helmet there.
Yes,
my mom actually won that at like a raffle at the game. That's a Hollywood Brown signed one. So she gave it to me.
That's so cool.
So I was like, I'm like just trying to add to the memorabilia wall. But I was like, yeah, I watch the NFL now for either fantasy football or my guys, right? So, and my friends always joke with me. They're like, so Jay, who are you rooting for this year? Because clearly it's not the Jets. Because my fandom with them is just like completely. I'm like, it's the worst franchise. I'm like, you just how can you ever root for the Jets at this point? So I was like, well, what team's Baker on, right? Like that's who. When he got drafted by the Browns, I was pissed because the Jets were like right there. I'm like, please take Sam Darnold, Browns. Please take Sam Darnold. And of course they took Baker, which makes me so happy for it. But I'm like, no. I'm like, the dream of having a Jets jersey with Mayfield on the back. I was like, oh my God, I would have killed for that.
So I was like, that'd have been the best.
So now I was like a fair weather Browns fan for that. I never really was a Carolina fan because I'm like, it's like rooting for the Jets again, the Panthers. Like, why would I do that? But when he went, now that he's at Tampa Bay, I'm like, I'm going to support the Bucs every chance I get because I want to see him get at least one ring because Lincoln Riley screwed him out of the one he should have had. So get him one in the big leagues.
I hope so too. Well, so Eric, he always says he would rather OU win or whoever I'm rooting for. He would rather them win than OSU or whoever he's wanting to win because if not, he's going to be miserable because I'm going to be bitching.
Yeah.
So I always tell him he's like a closet OU fan just for that reason alone. But we've gone to a lot of NFL stadiums. We went to Foxborough. I was a big Tom Brady fan for years. I watched him. He was in college about the same time as me, so I watched him get drafted and start playing in the league. And I was not a Patriots fan by any means when he went there, but I just really liked him. Of course, I thought he was attractive because, but I mean, honestly, I just loved watching him over the years, and obviously he's the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
But we followed him from Foxborough to Tampa Bay. So that worked out good for me. We saw him at Gillette and then actually went and saw him in Tampa Bay his last season there. And like I said, it worked out good for me. Baker's in Tampa Bay. I'm like, I've already got Tampa Bay stuff. I'm good.
Yeah.
So that was an easy switch for me. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm really hoping that Baker can get it done someday because I love that guy. I feel like he's my spirit animal. I would give anything to meet him someday. I hope that it happens. I feel like we could be friends, but yeah, I really am rooting for the guy because he's had a rough time in the league, but he keeps rising above it and getting stuff done. And I'm just like, his time's coming. I know it has to be.
Yeah, he's my wife always says, she's like, would you leave me for Baker? I'm like, if you'd have me, yeah, sure, probably. I'm like, I just, and it's weird, as a 40-year-old man to like look at someone that's like almost half your age, right? And like look up to them. Yes. But it's like, you have to respect the story, man. Like walk on to Tech, wasn't recruited by anybody, walked into Bob Stoops' Stadium and says, I'm going to be your starting quarterback. He's like, who are you? Like what? And then look at all he's done. It's just mind over, talent. And he's got an asinine amount of talent, right? But it's like, no one looked at him as that talented quarterback. So it's like when you take that kind of moxie in, and I think I was going to make a joke beforehand, but I was like, I think, after getting Mateer, he doesn't have, Mateer's obviously way more soft-spoken than Baker was, right? But they both got the tooth gap, right? I said, I think at this point, if Mateer makes a run next year, I mean, he got us there once this year. If they go on a run next year, we're only allowed to take quarterbacks with a gap in their teeth, right? It's like Bo Bentley's going to have to shave it down or something because it's got to be a thing. And if it's an Oklahoma thing, I'll take it. I'll shave down my tooth down. I don't care.
Yeah.
Let's just
sign me up. Absolutely. That's so funny. I'm a big fan of him. Like I said, I love his sass and I know people say he's got a smart mouth or whatever. I don't really see it as him having a smart mouth. He just doesn't take any crap. He knew what he was worth. He knew what he could do. He stood up for himself and he proved himself. And I will never forget him at the Kansas game. And grabbing his crotch on the sidelines and after they refused to shake his hand. Like, that's one of my favorite Baker days. And it was very childish the way that they treated him. But I loved when he grabs his crotch and he's like, go play basketball. Because, like, I would do that. Like, if I were him, I would do that. And so I'm just like, this guy is my spirit animal. I love him. And I have a signed jersey from him that my husband got me for my birthday. But yeah, I wish nothing but the best for that guy. I go watch him every time I can. We've seen him several times play. We went to Cleveland, Tampa Bay. I've seen him in Dallas. I really want him to get a ring. I want him to do well. And every season I have high hopes for him too, Mm-hmm. But then the poor Bucks, man, they just could not stay healthy this year. The NFL was weird this season. Like, there was so much going on, so many injuries. Like, speaking of fantasy football, my whole team, like, it was insane because everybody kept getting hurt, so I kept trading people around. It was crazy. But I love watching the NFL, and one day he's going to have his time, and I told Eric, when Baker goes to the Super Bowl, we got to go. Like, I'm going to have to sell a kidney or an arm or something, but like, I'm going to have to go. I just can't imagine not going if he actually makes it. So
yeah, just start putting
get our opportunity.
Slowly putting it away now, because that's what I told my wife too. I said the second Oklahoma's back in the she's like, what are you gonna do when Oklahoma gets to the national championship and tickets are $5,000 plus? I'm like, I'm gonna spend $5,000 plus to go. Like, we're just gonna we're gonna put it off to the side for the it's called the rainy day fund, but it's actually called the national championship fund. Like, there's no way I am not. Even like this one, I told her, I'm like, there's no way I can miss this playoff game. Like, I know you don't fully understand, but it's the first home game in Oklahoma. Like, we weren't supposed to be there. They're gonna put on like this whole show. Like, I just have to experience it. My wife gets it, and I love her for it. She's just like, go, just do it. I don't care. Just be back by Saturday. I'm like, perfect ultimatum. Just be back tomorrow, right? And now I was sick as a dog the entire holidays, but I still say completely worth it. Completely worth it.
Absolutely, for sure. Yeah.
And like you said, with your Baker jersey, I got my whole I got my Heisman wall here. So
I love it. Yes.
So what I did was I got the Baker one first. My wife actually got me the helmets for our wedding present. I was like, how do you know you have the coolest wife ever? That was my wedding present, was the helmets. So I was like, I have to get the complete set. So I have the jerseys, the helmets, and the footballs for Kyler and Baker. So I'm starting my little Heisman wall here. I got Billy. I won Billy Sims' 12 Days of Christmas or holidays a couple years ago, but I only got I got his gnome. And I was like, if you want to send a football or a jersey, I'll add you to my Heisman wall. I didn't get it, but I said one of these days I'll have like all the stuff, and then I'll just go to Billy Sims' barbecue when he's working at one of them and be like, hey, here you go. I gotta get you on my wall.
Absolutely, you do. Oh, I love that so much. I'm actually looking. I have a picture on my wall of him. And Jason White and Steve Owen, and they're holding a football, and I have that football signed by them.
That's awesome.
There, so that's a pretty special piece of mine. I also have a softball from last summer, actually, the Oklahoma City Spark, their professional team, which has basically been like the Sooners 2.0 ever since they started the last 3 seasons.
I was gonna say, isn't like half of the team Oklahoma graduates?
Yeah, like literally, I would say probably 75% of the team were all OU people. And so, long story short, I interviewed the owner of the Spark, Tina Floyd, and the coach, who's a former Sooner, Amber Flores, last year on the podcast. So when I went to a Spark game this summer, I had a ball, and I got them all to sign it. Well, Kelly Maxwell wasn't there yet. She was still playing overseas. So she later got back to the States, joined the Spark, and I took that ball back and gave it to Amber, and I'm like, will you please have Kelly sign this for me? And so she did.
Yes.
So I have Jada, Alyssa, Riley, Kinsey, Kelly, Elena Torres, Haley Lee. I'm probably forgetting somebody, but you get the point. And I'm like, this will never happen again.
Yeah.
And so that is one of my greatest treasures, is that softball over there. And God forbid we have to get in the cellar sometime tornado season. That thing's going down there with me.
Yep. That's what I said. I was like, if anything ever happened here, I mean, it's Arizona, so we get monsoons, right? But it's like, to imagine, right? Yeah. Like some catastrophe. I'm like, you grab the animals, I'm grabbing my sports memorabilia. Like, that's going with me everywhere.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We have a bedlam room, which is where I'm sitting, and we have so much OU and OSU stuff in here. So yeah, same thing. I'm like, my husband knows, like, we have a dog. And I'll prep a bag and all that. You make sure he gets in the cellar. I'm grabbing this sports stuff. I'll be down there in a minute.
Yep. We take what we love. What do you want from us?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to the only plugs I'd say put in here for me. If you live in Arizona, look up the OU Club of Arizona. Follow us anywhere you can, because next year we're aiming to have a huge year. I want to get the following back. They used to have a big one. I guess COVID kind of killed it out, because we had there was a sponsor bar in like the North Scottsdale area. They said we have somewhere like 50 to 70 people would show up a game, which is pretty decent turnout. But ever since then, like that bar shut down, kind of communication shut down. Like kind of hearsay. I'm trying to get back to what we had in New York, right? In New York, we would have anywhere from like 100 to 200 people there every game. I'll never forget early days. We used to have We were at this bar called the Mad Hatter. It was in Midtown East. It was just a long Irish pub, like that long Irish pub bar setup with a couple high tops behind,
I love
and like
it.
maybe 6 or
Yeah.
7 tables in the back, and then they had an outdoor space where they had a couple more tables. But like you could only use that for the first 6 games of the season because it got too cold to sit out there. So what would happen is we're talking during the Baker era.
Right.
There would be 3 to 4 people deep at the bar just to watch a game. I would be on a bar stool screaming, doing the chants.
That's amazing.
It was an atmosphere like none other. And I don't need to get 3, 4 deep like that. We have more space in Arizona. Everyone can have their own seat. But
For sure, yeah.
But it's like to have that kind of energy when you can't actually go to Norman. It's you try and give the game day atmosphere as much as you can in the state, and the watch parties. That's why I got to. Unfortunately, we lost, obviously, but I think it was last year we were in San Diego with my in-laws and my brother and sister-in-law and their and my nephew. And I was like, oh my god, guys, the OU Club of San Diego is like literally across the street from us. Like we have to go watch the OU Texas game. We got annihilated, but the San Diego club, they get down. They are fun at halftime. They were trying to find like anybody in their young 20s, right? At halftime, they're like, who's young and can chug? And we need 2 Oklahoma fans and 2 Texas fans. And they held like a chugging contest. They've got like a guy dressed up as there's some guy that has like a whole wrestler outfit that's like decked out in OU. I think they call him Sooner Man. I don't know, but I'm just
that's amazing.
They put on a show. They take beach party life and Sooner football very seriously. I was very proud to introduce myself to them and like get to know them. They were a fun crew. So I'm like trying to do that in the desert now. So if you're here, we're gonna try. We're probably gonna keep the same bar for next year. It's at Backyards off the 101 Via de Ventura. And if we start overflowing there, then we might have to look into a new spot. But for now, we love the people there. They're great to us. It's an easy travel location to get to. So just hopefully we can get more people to come on out, especially visiting. Right, Scottsdale's a big destination to vacation to now. So know that we can do some Sooner games as well. I'm trying to see if I can get some watch parties for softball this year, and obviously March Madness too. If we end up making it, we'll see.
That'd be awesome. I hope so. Well, I was going to say after I got back from our Phoenix trip, I talked on the podcast about the Alabama game, of course, and then just being there with you guys and how much fun it was. And that was my first experience watching a game with the OU club somewhere, and so I'm definitely hooked. Like you said, if I'm ever traveling anywhere, I'm going to look up the OU club because I didn't even think about it. I just happened to see something on Instagram when I was there and I was like, hey, let's go. It was totally random, but I'm so glad I did for a lot of reasons. But I met some really great people that day. And again, back to the OU club in New York. I know you told me about meeting Blake Griffin there, and I guess it's also where you met Kristen Chenoweth.
Yeah, so those were both when we were at the Mad Hatter. So it's like we didn't even upgrade to a bigger bar yet because Mad Hatter unfortunately shut down or just changed ownership, so we kind of lost our spot. And then we ended up in the Ainsworth, which was in the Midtown East. Then I moved here, and they're now at, I think, Haswell Greens in I want to say West Village, but I'm not really sure exactly where it's at. So we met Blake Griffin. It was the famous Baker Tennessee comeback game, and we said Blake Griffin brought the bad luck.
Oh wow!
It became our joke because he walked. It was like the first quarter, maybe like 5 minutes in, this giant mammoth of a human being walks in. I mean, you don't get many 6'9", 6'10" Sooner fans walking in the door, right? And we all looked at the door and everyone's like Blake Griffin's here. So like everyone was saying hi to him as he went back to his table. But on his way out, anybody that asked for a photo, he stopped. He was really great about that. I saw him because those were the epic eras of me always being on a bar stool for every single chant. I was allowed to do it there. I could do whatever I wanted there. They didn't care. They're like, the more you have them chanting, the more they drink, the more money we make. Have a blast. So he would be like, he was like poking his head around. He's like, who's this guy screaming at the top of his lungs? So on his way out, I was like, please, can we take a photo with you? But of course, instead of standing on the bar stool at that time, which I probably should have done, I stepped on the ground and he's just a mammoth over me. I'm just like, oh my God, you're huge.
He is a big man.
And I can't remember the exact game Kristen Chenoweth was at, but this was just before I was like fully part of the Alumni Association. They were just more like, do what you want, but like, we're going to want you to like help us out eventually. So she was sitting at like the table with them. And all of a sudden, like I've been doing the chant for multiple downs because this is when we didn't stop scoring, right? And I just feel this like tap on the back of my shoulder. She's like, can I get a picture with you? You're hilarious. I'm like, you want a picture of me? I'm like, are you okay? I'm like, because I know who you are. Like, you don't know why. She's like, no, she's like, I have to send this to like my family and my friends. I've been texting them all day because she's from Oklahoma City, right? And she was like, I've been texting them all day about this crazy guy standing on a bar stool in the middle of New York screaming Boomer Sooner. I never thought I'd live to see the day. I was like, well, I'm glad to make you happy on that one, right? But we always did our joke with Blake Griffin. He left around, I think it was like the third quarter, and then all of a sudden the comeback came. I was like, maybe Blake was bad luck. I was like, I still love you, Blake. I mean, he was a hilarious guy, super nice. Like, I was like, get out, don't come back.
Yeah, don't come back. I met you once. We're good.
Yeah, we're good. So yeah, it's kind of cool. You get those little celebrity pop-ins here and there.
For sure.
Happen.
Oh, that's so cool.
I've been trying. Unfortunately, yeah. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen with the state of the Cardinals, but I've been trying to get Kyler Murray to come in. So, Kyler, if you want to come to Arizona Sports Bar on a bye week, if you're still here, we'd love to have you.
Please. Oh my gosh, yes, that would be so amazing. I tagged him on Twitter about the watch party when I was there because I'm like, well, it's not going to hurt to just tag him and be like, hey, come watch the OU game.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe he'll show up sometime. You never know.
Trust me, I hope they retain him. If not, then I never have to watch Cardinals games again, so that wouldn't be bad either.
Yeah, I know, right? It could be a win-win, I guess. But yeah, I'm real curious to see what happens since they fired Jonathan Gannon. I don't know what direction they're going to go.
There's a lot of rumors of him being traded. I think it's like Jets or Raiders are like the top two for like draft pick stock. I'm like,
wow.
I was like, I mean, for his mental health and physical health, I hope he doesn't go to the Jets because they just don't know what to do with quarterbacks, obviously. But at the same time, I'm like, but I could get my Kyler Murray New York Jets jersey. Like, that would be fun.
You totally could.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't have much hope with the NFL. I just watch it now for fun. I can't root for anybody. They're never good.
I know. I'm the same way. I don't really have a team that I root for other than, like I said, I always followed Tom Brady, which he was at the same team for 20 years, so that worked out good for me. And then Baker. I just follow our guys. Watch the Chiefs because there's so many Sooner guys on there. The Broncos. I mean, I'm technically not a Broncos fan, but I can be. Nick Benito's balling out. Delirium Turner Yell's on there. So it's fun to see our guys. I'll watch any team as long as there's a Sooner on there.
Yep, 100% with you. It's like I get in more arguments with the locals here, right? Because they're not Kyler Murray fans. They think it's all his fault that this team is terrible. I'm like, this team is terrible because they can't get an offensive coach. Here, I think Cliff Kingsbury is probably the most overrated offensive mind currently in all aspects of football, right? Because what it is he is a genius at the first 8 weeks of any football season because he comes up with new things and they all work. And that's when his teams are scoring. But then he becomes so predictable in the way he calls his plays and he doesn't change anything. That's why you always see in the second half of any season he ever coaches, they figure it out. They're like, oh, I see exactly what he's doing. And now the offense is shit. So it's like, in my opinion, Kyler was probably getting pissed at him because we're getting too predictable. They know what we're doing. And that's why you saw him having all his antics on the sidelines. Yeah, because he's getting his ass kicked because they know what's coming their way. So then you get rid of him, and like we've had this guy named Drew Petzing. I don't know. Not important enough to remember because the Arizona Cardinals offense has been horrible to watch since the Gannon era.
So bad.
Oh my God. And it's like, if I were him, I'd want to get the heck out of here, honestly. It's like, unless you're going to get an offensive mind in, I think Mike McDaniel's probably the biggest one right now everyone's going to try and grab. But it's like, no one's going to succeed like that. You can even see Baker throughout the years of dealing with his different offensive coordinators, right? Where I forgot, who was their OC last year? Where did he end up going? Because they're in the playoffs now. First-time head coach. On his big year with Tampa Bay last year. Who was his OC? Oh, my God, I'm blanking.
Liam Cohen?
It might have been Cohen. You might be right. It's like you saw how good Tampa Bay's offense ran last year, right? You saw how good Baker was running in it. It's because he had a fantastic system, and now that guy got a head coaching job and is in the playoffs again.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's the other thing about this playoff run. Who would have thought we'd be watching the Jaguars, the Panthers? I'm like, this is Seattle's number one again. The Broncos are number one. I'm like, this is the weirdest playoff I'm ever gonna watch. Like,
it really is strange.
Chiefs ain't in it. Yeah, still gonna watch it, but it's like Chiefs are out. I'm like, finally, we don't have to deal with Patrick Mahomes and Taylor Swift the whole time. I mean,
crazy. Just so crazy. I saw something that said if Josh Allen can't make it to the Super Bowl this year, he's never going to make it because he finally doesn't have to go through Joe Burrow and the Bengals. He doesn't have to go through Arrowhead.
Yeah,
the Chiefs and Mahomes. So this is his time to shine. And I like Josh Allen. I think he's a great guy.
Lamar Jackson, no Ravens.
No. Oh gosh, that game was nuts. Kickers have not fared well in games, big games here recently. But
I know.
I do like Josh Allen. I hope he does well. But yeah, I'll be curious to see how far he goes since he doesn't have to deal with any of them.
I know. Well, it's like as a Jets fan, I'm supposed to hate the Bills, but like I have a buddy that's a diehard Bills fan, and I like Josh Allen. I think he's a great guy. I think he works hard. I'm a huge James Cook fan because I had him on every fantasy football team. I knew he was going to be a stud this year. James Cook is a workhorse, right? I'm like, stop taking it out of his hands. He's good. They just need some wide receivers, like always. It's like, God, get this guy someone to throw the damn ball to. But if there was a time for them to do it, it's gonna be now. But I don't know. It's like every time I doubt I feel like, Seattle's gonna like blow it here. It's like then they win again. I'm like, Seattle really good. I'm like, Sam Darnold good, especially as a Jets fan. I'm like, but now you're good. Now you want to be.
I know, right? That one is weird to me because I don't really care one way or another, honestly, when it comes to the Seahawks or Sam Darnold, really. But I'm like, Sam Darnold? Like, what the heck? Like, he's been all over the place. Like you said, like, now you're going to be good? Like, what is going on here? So,
it's so irritating. I'm like, especially after drafting him and watching him for 4 years in New York. I'm like, you couldn't have figured it out then? It's like, it would have been nice for us to have a freaking quarterback. It was also, you went to USC, and I hate rooting for anybody from USC.
I know, I can't.
It's so hard. God.
Yeah, we hated USC before Tebow went out there, and now we hate it even more. Everybody calls him Dry Brisket because of the brisket fiasco, which I'm sure you're aware of.
Oh, yeah.
With Lincoln Riley. And so we either call him Tebow for that bitch out west, or we call him Dry Brisket. That's what we call it. We don't say his name.
We don't. Yeah, it's Tebow in the group chat, and it's funny because the guy he borrowed the smoker from, Travis Davidson, he's Travis Skoll on Twitter.
Yeah, Davidson.
It was a UCF game we played. It was a couple years ago because I try and go at least once a year if I can't get back to Norman or go to Dallas for OU Texas. Yeah. So I was at O'Connell's after the game with a buddy. I was like, wait. I was like, are you Travis Skoll? I'm like, sorry, I don't remember your last name right now. He's like, yeah. He's like, do I know you? I'm like, no, I follow your content. I love your opinions. I think you're like a real Sooner fan that like actually has good things to say. So just wanted to say hi. And we had to then he just sat down with us. He's like, hey, you want to just chat some football for about 15, 20 minutes? I'm like, do I like to do anything else in life? No. I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead. It was like, we just had like the typical Oklahoma conversation, right? Like, what do you think we need to improve on next year? Who can we bring in? Who do you think we're going to lose to the NFL? It's like, and we just like struck up a convo on it. It was cool moment, right? But like also that's just Sooner fans for you. Yeah,
he's an awesome guy. I followed him for years as well. I saw him at Ole Miss last year at a restaurant, and so I went up to him, started talking to him, and he's such a nice guy. I actually had him do like a special ladies event for me. After the OU Texas game, a bunch of us ladies were wanting to bitch about the game, and so he came on and joined us. He's a super nice guy, Oklahoma guy, knows his stuff. He's a big baseball fan too, so. But yeah,
well, I also remember
during baseball season.
Yeah, the point was saying it because it was his smoker he let Tebow borrow, and he's like, it would be really nice if you would return my smoker before jetting off in the middle of the night to USC. And I just remember that like that post just blew up, and I was like,
yes, it did.
This absolute dirt bottom of the shit on the bottom of my boot, right? Absolutely. This is how I look at Lincoln Riley or Tebow, and it's like give him his stuff back, right? Like go take your money, do your mediocre coaching that you're going to do for the next 10 years. Yeah, people are like talking about him going to the NFL. I'm like, this guy can't make it through a season in a real conference. You think he's going to do anything somewhere else? Like the only thing he could do to redeem his career is be an offensive coordinator for the rest of his life because he's a terrible head coach.
Absolutely,
just call offenses. That's all you're good at.
I agree. I can't believe that USC is still hanging around with him. I know they compared his record to what Clay Helton's was when they let him go, and I just wonder how much longer he's going to be able to ride that gravy train.
Well, you didn't hear that they're this close. They're really, really close.
Yeah, they're real close.
He did it again at the end of
Yes.
this year. He's like,
Yes,
I know
he did.
the foundation is there. It's like, shut up. You suck.
So full of it. He is so full of it. The jokes about that on Twitter never get old.
Ugh,
Never
never.
get old. I love it so much. It's
Unless
just
you have a transfer quarterback
classic.
coming in, you are screwed. Caleb Williams was the best you ever had start to finish, but it's like you can't coach up
For sure.
quarterbacks. You can't
Yep.
recruit outside of the stars. You don't know how to look at talent.
Nope.
Oh, we didn't talk about that. Jim Nagy. I love Jim Nagy right now. This guy, this is why we are like a true NFL front office and why the future is bright for us. That guy
Absolutely.
knows what he's looking at. I used to be the star hunter, right? I'm guilty
Yeah.
as charged. I'd be on 24/7 Sports, Rivals. Okay, so this guy is like 65% for OU right now. He's a 5-star. It don't matter because the 5-star kids are taking their bags one year and they're leaving the next year because they're not playing, right? And then they have no motivation to play. Well, they're all playing checkers. He's playing chess, as they like to say. And he's like picking up Taylor Wine, 3-star, no name, and now he's a freaking superstar, right? Finding the guys that like the team guys you actually want that want to play ball. This is I'm like, I don't care anymore. I'm like, your website says we're ranked 15, fine by me. Don't care.
Yeah,
like I know that these kids coming in are probably workhorses. They want to. I never doubt Brent Venables' coaching system and defense. It's like you give them if you're willing to stay 1 to 2 years, you're going to be one of the best defensive players of your life. You know, if you don't,
1,000%.
Transfer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If there's any retention that we got to do, it's like just pay Nagy a bag to keep him around for a decade.
Absolutely.
Venables and his crew. I think Arbuckle's going to want a head coaching job eventually, but hopefully he'll stick with us long enough for a good run, right?
I think so. I mean, I'm hoping we'll at least have him for maybe 4 or 5 seasons. I'm hoping so.
That's always hoping, right? But it's like based on how we're pulling guys in now, getting Jason Witten there, we still got DeMarco there, right? It's like maybe we'll be fine next round. Now that we're showing we have some life on offense again.
Yeah, yes. I love it. It's definitely hopeful. And Jim Nagy, when we hired him, everybody kept saying, oh, he's so overqualified for this job, which he totally is. But he's damn good at it.
Don't tell him that.
Yeah, don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Keep him locked away. I don't care if they lock him in. Keep him there forever.
I agree. He has done some incredible things, and I think it was good timing with Josie on his way out and all of that stuff up in the air. That stability and the talent and knowledge that he has is what we needed, and I'm here for it for sure. So, fingers crossed for a good 2026.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's going to be. It's funny. It's like the opposite of this year, right? The end of our season, middle to end, was like the juggernaut. Our first 5 weeks, oh boy, that is going to be a gauntlet. But I don't know. I've always wanted to go to the big house for a game, so might try and go to the Michigan game next year. I'm not going to Athens. Don't need to go to Georgia.
No,
but
I don't want to go there either.
It's like to have Michigan, Georgia, Texas in the first 5 weeks. I'm like, oh boy. But it's like you get through those healthy, the rest should be fine, right? So I don't know. I'm calling it out.
Absolutely.
Gonna call my shot, play it back later. We're going 11-1. We're gonna lose to Georgia. We're beating everybody else. That's who I think we're gonna lose by 3 to Georgia. Everybody else we're gonna easily handle, and we'll have hopefully
I like it.
Top four ranking. Hopefully, actually, I don't know. I don't know if you want buys anymore. I think you'd rather be a 9 or a 10 seed because those are the guys that are making it to the final and winning it.
I agree. These teams getting the bye weeks never seem to make it past round 2. So I'm with you. Just give me that 8 or 9 seed and give us that home field advantage for round 1 and let us do our thing. So
almost don't want the bye. I want to go back to another home game for a playoff. That was so much fun. Let's just keep those.
Oh my gosh.
Keep us 5 and 8. Keep us there. Just keep us somewhere in there just so we can have that. And redeem ourselves from this last one.
Absolutely.
Give us 5 or 6 and give us the JMU. We'll take the JMU next year. How about that? If they don't fix it.
Yeah, right? Oh my gosh.
Give us the cupcake.
Exactly. Yes. We definitely, like you said, I just wanted to play somebody different. I wish we had played somebody different regardless of how it would have turned out. But maybe next year. I'll definitely look for another home game.
There's always next year. For now, let's try and get both basketball teams in March Madness so we can have some fun. And let's OU softball girls, they're going to get back on the dynasty train. They had a little hiccup last year. They were young. This year, get out of our way. Texas, you guys, so mad when they won. I was like, give it to anybody else, just not Texas. But
literally anyone else.
or I hate, what is his name? Mike. Oh God, their
Mike
coach.
White.
Oh God, what a
Can't
scumbag.
stand him.
Can't stand
And
him.
we had that Sophia Bordy. She's from like the New Jersey area, and she was at OU, and she transferred down to Texas. And I'm like, who the hell wants to go play for Mike White?
Mike
that
White.
POS like jerk of a guy who flips off people at the Big 12 championship. Can you imagine? Whatever, dude. Whatever.
I mean, as a Jersey guy originally, if I had her number, I would be like, "Don't do it, girl. Don't go anywhere else. Go to Florida. Go to Tennessee. Go somewhere else."
Her mom went to Texas, I believe, as a swimmer or a runner.
But
her mom.
All their trophies are in swimming,
Texas,
right?
So. It's like OSU with wrestling and equestrian.
Yeah.
Well, I cannot thank you enough for talking shit with me for an hour and a half. But oh my gosh, I had the best time. I tell everybody I know if they go to Phoenix, they have to come hang out with you guys. But
Please do.
we had the best time. We may have to revisit before the season or sometime during next season for sure.
Yeah, I'm always available. If you want to talk OU football, softball, basketball, I don't care. I'm ready to talk.